risk management, you have to know what your goals are. You've got to realize that some of the risks that may come unexpectedly are out in those tails. And the probability of that event, that's 3, 4, 5 standard deviations away from the mean, as a one-time event, that black swan is much greater than the normal curve would suggest it is. You've got to be prepared for the unexpected. You don't know what it is, so you can't eliminate it. But you've got to be prepared to act and have game plans in place. You've got to have a plan. You've got to ask the question, what's going to keep me from achieving this plan? How do I respond? That's effective risk management. I've got 7 minutes. I will tell you that in the year 2000, then PricewaterhouseCoopers, who was our accountants, outside CPAs, came to us and said, we think we really should help you do some overall risk management. Understand what your risks are. And we started that in June of 2000. We went around and interviewed, and everybody, we got a handle on about 500 different risks, and then we're going to evaluate which ones could really impact us and which ones couldn't. We did everything in terms of each department, and this happened to be the curve or the risk that we identified for regulatory affairs. And we looked at all the things that could go wrong and graded them as red, that's major, yellow, which was, we can live with it, we've got to solve it, and green saying there's no risk there that we see right now. I will tell you that in finance, in regulatory, we saw all sorts of risks in regulatory affairs. In finance, we never had credit risk as a major risk. Well, didn't we do our job? No, we did. Because all the bankruptcies, all the bills that weren't paid, all fell back on regulators that didn't do their job. That was the biggest risk we had. We never got any further than this before everything hit the fan. But in 2005, we started again. We made the decision we were going to put together a risk management department reporting to me. And we went out again. And we said, we've got to look for our major risks. And we wound up identifying our top 10 risks in 2006. And remember I said that we were still developing our model from 2001. It didn't get operational until 2009. If we were eating through staff like you couldn't believe. We developed these 10 major risks by interviewing management, interviewing all the staff, going around, weighting them, looking at the costs, looking at interactions. We brought them into the executive management, and you know what they said? No, that's not right. Go back and do it again. You must have the weights wrong. Yeah, I was part of executive management. But the only way you are ever going to have effective risk management is if the people at the very top buy in. And why didn't the executive management want to buy in? Because people weren't going to quit on them. We're good leaders. We're good managers. We're not going to burn people out. We know how they're working. And our biggest risk were the people we had working 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week building these new models. And we're burning them out. But executive management would not buy it. So it floundered. They're still doing well, but that model rewrite that was started in 2002, originally it was called Management Redesign in 2002. It was operational in 2009. Just having to list those 7 years with a model that we knew could be gamed was one heck of a problem. Let me close by telling you about one last element of risk management. It's a group called COSO, Committee of Sponsoring Organizations, which is, what is that? Well, it's a group of American Finance Association, American Accounting Association, AICPA, Financial Financial Executives Institute, all of which are the sponsoring organizations, and it's a very, very big national group that has done a lot of work on accounting controls. They also published first in 2004, I believe, the first handbook on enterprise risk management, looking at the risk to the enterprise, how it impacts things, and what the exposure is, and how to best manage risk. And they came up with this Rubik's Cube, which I provided you before. How to look at risk. You can effectively manage risk. You've got to look at strategic, operational, reporting and compliance, plans, issues, challenges, goals. Within that, you're going to look down the side, entities or divisions, units, subsidiaries, and then the whole company. Everybody has to look at how things interact. And then you're going to look at your environment. You're going to set your objectives, your goals. What to keep us from achieving our goals? What are our exposures? How do we manage those? How risky are they? How do we respond to that? How do we control them? How do we talk to each other? How do we mitigate those risks? Or can we bear those risks? All of these things together have to be done by the company. And it's driven by the tone at the top. If the board doesn't care for it, nobody else worries about it. The first article I gave you again talked about Stanley, what was his last name? The chairman from Merrill Lynch, who went 2 years without knowing his head of risk had resigned. Is there any doubt that Merrill Lynch had to be saved by Bank of America? They didn't know, they didn't care. Okay, I've got one last slide. And thank you for putting up with me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We didn't have a pension at the Cal so we had a 401k. So, fortunately, I have my USAA pension. I've got my pension from A&R. And I go home and I look at this and I say, my God, maybe it was important once. Hope this works. Picture viewer, does that do it? Ron, I can't get the picture.
Oh no. Try another one.
You can already figure out what it is.
Hope it works.
Later.
Hmm?
Click on later. See the button where it says later?
No. Where do I click on?
Inside the box.
Click there.
Double click.
Double click. Later.
Yes.
There we go! Isn't that impressive? And I did get another picture of me standing with Colin Powell at one point in time too, but it's hard to buy groceries with that. Remember, last comment, then you get out of here. Ron made my day many, many years ago when he sent me an email. And he said, I still use what you used to say at USAA when I opened my classes. I don't know which class it was. That was, you can't buy groceries with net income. The accountants can say you made money, but if it's not green, you can't spend it. Thank you very, very much. If you've got any questions. let Phil know.